In this video, I want to talk about one of these moments that is really important to you, really high stakes. Maybe it's a job interview for a job you really want, or maybe it's a super important presentation, or maybe you've been invited to speak at a really important event. Anything like that, I want to talk about what happens in your mind as those moments happen, because I want you to understand that what is likely to happen, which is the fight or flight response being triggered, is quite normal. And I want you to reflect a little bit on what that looks like for you. And then to think about tools to manage all that activity that happens in your body all of a sudden. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Alexa. I have a PhD in psychology. I talk about all sorts of things, psychology, neuroscience, and I'm particularly interested in working with people who feel under pressure in their careers in some way. I work with actors a lot, and so I will be referring to that a little bit in this video. But yeah, so anything to do with pressure and careers is something that I love to get my teeth into. So let's get into this. What happens in these moments that are really high stakes and where it feels like our body just something takes over us, right? And our body just reacts and our heart rate goes up and our breath becomes very shallow our body seems to take on a life of its own and we can't manage it, right? So what happens with your mind is that you suddenly have very much lower capacity to think. And so, and the reason for that is because there's a very old part of your brain that suddenly gets online, which is the amygdala. So the amygdala, the role of this part of your brain is to keep you out of danger quickly. It's much quicker than your prefrontal cortex, which is about thought and planning. It's super quick and it has probably saved your life already quite a few times. And it has saved us as a species. If we didn't have this part of our brain, we wouldn't have survived, right? So it's a very helpful part of our brain when we are in real physical danger. But in moments that are not about physical danger and when we're actually trying to have really high cognitive resources, it is a real pain because it is activating this fight or flight response, which is why you're getting all these symptoms in your body. So what do you do about it? Well, I'm just going to address in this video what to do about it at the level of being able to still be coherent. So what to do about it is to prepare for whatever it is. Now, this is going to sound super basic, but you need to prepare insanely well for that event that is really important to you. Much, much, much more than for any other event that's less important. Because for an event, for anything that's less important, you're not going to have this massive reaction. You're not going to have your body kind of suddenly taking over. You're going to be able to think. Whereas in these moments that are super mega important, you're going to have so much less capacity. And I think people are surprised by how much less capacity they suddenly have in these moments. So you need to prepare insanely well. That's the first thing. The second thing is that you need to, the way you prepare is that, I work with actors a lot and I work on issues to do with memorization. And especially when actors have difficulty with their lines, I really emphasize that in these moments that really matter, they have to know their lines to the point where the lines just flow, out of their mouth without any thought whatsoever. So I make them go through all sorts of really insane drills to be able to know their lines to a level that's insane because that's what's needed in these moments. And one of the things is I ask them to rehearse their lines outside of where they learned their lines. So that goes for presentations too. If you're doing public speaking or anything like that, rehearse your speech outside of your office or outside of your bedroom or wherever you've been doing most of the rehearsing. And yeah, so that's one thing. But the other thing is being able to notice what's going on in your body is another super important thing. So I prepared a workbook, which is free. You can download it below, which walks you through what is actually happening in your body. It gets you to reflect what is happening in your body in these super high intense moments. Because the more you can identify things and the more you can reflect on past experiences, the less surprised you will be next time. The more you can notice things when the fight or flight response is just at the very beginning. If you can catch it there, then that's much better. And what do you do there? The first one big thing that I'd like you to take from this video, one big thing you can do in that moment when you start noticing it is focus on your breath. If you can focus on your breath really early on when the panic just starts setting in, then that's amazing. So focus on your breath and focus on your out breath. So breathe out rather than breathing in, breathe out first. Empty your lungs, hold a little bit, and then allow the in breath to come in naturally. Why? Because that tells your body that everything's fine. Your heart rate will slow down as a result. And once your heart rate slows down, everything else starts calming down too. I do have videos where I have more tools than this, and there are more tools in the workbook. But if you just remember one thing is just focus on your breath, particularly on your out breath. Okay, I hope this has been really helpful. And watch some of my other videos where I'm much more detailed about what to do in these situations. And I hope to see you again in the next video.